Everybody, if you here, just give yourself a hand. I just want to thank everybody that's being in here. Thank y'all. Welcome to the Healing Hierarchy. If you're here, you are now a part of the higher class of people who are trying to strive to reach their higher self. And I want to start off by saying, you know, we cannot really truly appreciate life and continue to eat death. And we cannot continue to complain about sickness while eating disease and consuming disease. So my name is Always. I have a wellness business called Supreme Wellbeing that I started out of my own existence from holistic living. But this is not about me. This is not about me today. Today, I have Dr. Chris here, the Oracle of Wellness, the Quantum Queen of Healing, the naturopathic doctor, the throat chakra boat rocker. Give it up for Dr. Chris, man. She is.
Thank you.
I met Dr. By way of. I met Dr. Patricia by way of her healing my son ALMansur of Candida, and when her spirit is full of such tranquility and nobility. I just remember coming into her presence, and it was like I stepped into a realm of awakening inside of an awakening, because the things that I knew about myself, I found out there was even more things that I didn't know about myself when I ran into this woman, because it was just like the dynamics and the layers of information that she has and how valuable her spirit is and what she does for the community. And I just have a lot of gratitude just to be in this position, to be able to talk to you, to be able to interview you. And I'm thankful for what you did for my son. Shout out to ALMansur, and just teaching us about
my little buddy.
Gut flora. Yeah, you know, shout out ALMansur. And just moving forward and just in holistic healing, you have been just such a blessing in my life and many others. So I wanted to give you a proper introduction. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But so getting into it, I wanted to start off and ask you a question that I think fundamentally people should know when starting off on their journey is, how would you suggest us to start their holistic journey? Like, where would they start from?
Okay, two things. First, I'm going to answer that, and then I'm going to talk about how I got into this field. First of all, it's recognizing that you would benefit from healing. Mm. Second is accepting that recognition. And then third is doing something about it. So it's actually a three-step process. It's not enough to just think, oh, yeah, I could heal and yeah. You have to accept that. And then you do something about it. And healing is mental, physical, spiritual, and energetic. It's all four areas. All disease and every organ in the body has an emotional root. Nothing can manifest on this physical plane without it coming from a thought. So if the body can flow and it can communicate, it can heal itself. So with my scan that I do, I can see what's blocking the flowing and the communication. But then it's also about healing the emotional root that caused it in the first place. Otherwise, it can come back. Mm. And so healing, but it's all four parts. Now, I got into this. This was
let's go. Let's talk about it.
This was not my... This was never, ever, ever on my agenda. I was sexually abused from the age of 4 through 12, actively suicidal from 12 to 22. 22 to 26, I tried to get other people to take me out of here. And that didn't work. And one night, I grew up in a small college, Oberlin, Ohio, and there's a railroad tracks that comes through the town. And every night at 11, a train comes through. One night, I walked a mile out, laid down on the tracks. Mm. A guy came walking through the woods and found me. Mm. One time my father was on all kinds of medications. He had 2 heart attacks before he died of his third. I took a whole bottle of his medications, and I was incoherent. A girlfriend called on the phone, and I was subconscious and answered the phone, didn't know, and she called the ambulance on me. So this is the kind of stuff. And then from kindergarten through my doctoral program, I got straight A's. I've had 3 C's in my whole life, and my mother told me I could do better. So I'm bringing home straight A's, being told I could do better, and I'm being raped by family and neighbors. And I thought I was broken beyond repair. Wow. And I just, no. So I told the Creator, obviously you have me here for a reason. So you're going to have to show me. And I divorced my husband. I was 28. I divorced my husband. I shut down for 3 years and went on a journey of healing me. I had a degree in elementary ed. I opened up a daycare preschool that was open 24/7, 365 days a year for 20 years in New Jersey. I went back to school. I got a degree in Soc. I got a degree in Psych. I'm like, this isn't helping. I want to heal mind, body, spirit. I got certified as an HHP, a holistic health practitioner, which entailed certification in 9 different healing modalities, including traditional Chinese medicine. And then I got my master's in holistic psych and my doctorate in naturopathy. Then I was like, all I could do was laugh. And I said, oh, because I never wanted to teach. My parents forced me into going to Wheelock. The only thing you could major in was elementary ed. And I said, oh, now I understand why I opened this center. There was no one to protect me as a child. I had to protect all children.
Wow.
And my daughter told my staff, you can do whatever you want.
And that went back to your abandonment
That's
issue
right.
as a child.
My daughter told my staff, you can do whatever you want. It will not affect my mother, but please do not let my mother think you are harming a child, because even God would not be able to protect you, because I had to protect all children. And so I told my staff, here, you teach. I'm going to work with the children holistically. Every child that came into my center that was on medications came off. Their doctors took them off within 3 to 4 months. The parents started coming in, bringing their friends and family. The FDA inspectors were coming in. I wasn't charging for the healing. I made enough. And so the Creator said, you need to go in private practice. I said, no, I'm making too much money. So 5 years went by. I woke up July 11th, 2007, and I said, I have this much faith, but I can't fight you anymore. You're going to have to show me this is what I'm supposed to do. July 13th, I told all my staff, my parents, and the state I was closing. By July 28th, I had placed every single child in my center in other schools, found jobs for all my staff. One retired and sold all my equipment. I said, oh, you weren't joking, were you? And that is how I went into private practice. And once I did the scan that I use now, my sister in Alabama sent me an article from a reporter in Alabama that went to this medical doctor that had the scan that told all this stuff. So I did all the research and all that, and then I went in for training. And actually at that time, I was still in New Jersey. Clemens, North Carolina, was the place that sold the scan and stuff. So I actually came to North Carolina to learn it. Now it's in Florida, but it was in North Carolina. And so I went for the weekend training, and then I went and took the products, and that's how I started. And I gave free scans for the first month. And that's how I went into private practice.
Wow.
And then, of course, I was telling the Creator, okay, of course, I know you're smarter than I am, but I had no idea how much I understand the human body. Everyone is different. You can have 5 people that go through the same trauma. It's going to manifest in 5 different ways. And even though just because something is natural doesn't make it safe, and nothing works the same for everyone. So I test to see what individual. I test my clothing. I test everything I bring into my house. Everything that you put on or in your body is either going to increase or decrease your life.
That's what you were telling me about the nylon with
yeah,
gasoline.
96% of my clothes are 100% cotton, linen, wool. All my shoes are leather. Nylon, polyester, synthetic, rayon. Has petrochemicals in it. The same thing that's in the gasoline you're putting in your car.
The Bible say that we're 100% right.
Yeah. And it is, and so, yes, so all of mine. And when I grew up as a child, everything, There was no poly. I remember when people would say they would be caught dead in polyester when it first came on the market. Now they're selling it for thousands of dollars. But you see, the 1%, they dress like me. They are not in designer clothes. They are in cotton, linen, wool. They know all this stuff. They just don't want other people to know it.
And we're going into the add-on with talking about the Bible and with things, people associating their lifestyle, they might be religious or call themselves spiritual. I wanted to say something about the prophet Daniel and how he was actually one of the true vegans of the Bible when he was in a position to say, give me the vegetables and the water and see how I change. And I wanted to ask, that leads into my question and asking you with how that actually opened up his intuition and his subconscious mind to be able to get lucid dreams, and he was getting revelation through his dreams. And I wanted to ask you with your pathway, how your pathway opened up, and what is your opinion on preordainment? Like, did it feel like your path was preordained? Like this was, even though you put it to the test, like it was already there for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a young child, the Creator, I always knew that the Creator guided me. I just thought everyone else was like me, so I didn't think anything of it. When I became an adult, people are like, how do you know that? And I'm like, no, what? And why don't you know? And then like, you're so weird. Now they pay to come see me. But,
Wow.
but I don't remember how old I was when I told the Creator, I understand you gave me these gifts and talents, and I'm ready to use them. And I've just never, I'll be 70 next year. It's never been wrong. I've never questioned it. But I also tell people, I never wanted to live this long. Never thought I would be this comfortable in my own skin. And if I am, so can you. There's nothing different between you and I.
And look this good, too. Sammy, you look good, gracious.
Thank you.
I swear.
I moved to North Carolina in 2008. Last year I had to get a physical because I got Part C Medicare. And so they required a physical. First physical I've had since 2007, and everything is normal range. Wow. You can live your life. Thank you. The medical researchers and scientists, talking about the Bible, they have proved a lot of things. The medical researchers and scientists have proven two things. When the egg is fertilized that became you, it can have 7 generations of unresolved stuff from both sides of the family. They have proven that. Yes. And they've also proven that the human body is designed to live healthy 120 years. And if it doesn't, it's because of lifestyle. And that's in the Bible. I also do counseling, and I do couples counseling. Now, when I do couples counseling, I'll have the male go in the other room, and I'll ask the woman 2 questions. 1, do you respect the man? And if she says no, then I will not counsel. Wow. And I was doing this for years before someone told me that's in the Bible too. Right. Stuff. But a woman can fall in and out of love 10 times in one day.
What?
Yes, she can. A man, many times, if he falls in love one time and it does not work, he may never have the courage to fall in love again. But for a woman to stay in a relationship and be happy, she must respect the man. So I ask, if she says no, I tell her I will not do counseling. If she says yes, she respects him, I'm like, okay. Then I ask her what she's looking for from the counseling, because everyone, even if you're in the same relationship, everyone has wants and needs. They know what they want. They don't always discuss it with their partner. And I'll ask him if he loves her, and if he says no, I will not do the counseling. And then someone told me it's in the Bible. A husband must love his wife, and the wife must respect the husband. But the Creator guided me with that. So I've been doing that for years.
I want to say, speaking for the men too, we have a low emotional IQ level, a lot of us. We don't know how to like get in really. But what I've learned with getting into wellness and getting into my own emotional intelligence is that it's really freeing as a man to get that emotional IQ. But I wanted to ask you, how does emotional intelligence play on our health? Okay,
so going back to why I wish I had kept this video. It was a video that I sent out to my email list about 7, 8 years ago. And it said the worst 3 words to say to a boy: I couldn't even listen to it for 15 seconds, and I'm a woman. Don't be a punk, be a man, da-da-da-da-da. Wow. And unfortunately, our ancestors, they taught us how to survive with brown skin in a white capitalist society. That's all they knew. And that's why many in our culture are still in survival mode. Wow. I teach people how to thrive. But this is what happens, and especially with black males that don't have an identity, that don't know who they are and are not comfortable in them. They're trying to get you as their sons to be a man, and actually they're emasculating rather than empowering. And that's where a lot of that comes into.
Absolutely.
But there's, oh, whoops, in my,
Okay.
yeah, I just want to, my cell phone, please.
Right.
There was something that I found on Facebook a few years ago, and I keep it because to me, this is the best description, thank you, of why we are here. Every single person in the world, no exception, is a child of the Creator. We can't be better. There is nothing better. We can do better, but we can't be better. No one is broken. No one needs fixing. There's wounds and there's imbalances. As you heal the wounds and balance out the imbalances, your vibration rises. The highest vibration is consciousness at one with the Creator. God, Allah, Buddha, Mother Nature, the Orishas, our energy. Where is it? Everywhere. We are spiritual, energetic beings. Where you vibrate, like attracts like. Wounds attract. So as you heal your wounds, and I see it a lot, because I would say 1 in 2 people in this country have been abandoned. And then it's the abandonment that attracted them. And if they hadn't healed it, that's why it didn't last.
And the abandonment of the, the abandonment issues that you go through. But how you doing? Nice to meet you. But I was gonna say, just adding on to that, with the emotions and the depression and the anxiety, I've noticed that the cortisol levels or your adrenals are being released in your body, and your immune system shuts down. So the more cortisol levels you have in your body, like if you're stressed out, you're going through depression, you're going to your cellular levels are going to decrease. And also, I noticed in that learning about my emotional IQ, how much I stayed away from those things like depression and anxiety, learning more about how to control my reactivity. And a lot of it went into like the reprogramming of my subconscious mind. My emotional triggers led to a lot of my impulsive behavior. But when I started being more conscious of that, I started actually noticing too how much it played on my health. Then I started learning why, getting into like the cortisol levels and how it shuts down. But yeah, I just to add on to what you were saying.
That's why they tell people that stress can kill. The adrenals and the kidneys are the organs of longevity. They determine how long a person lives. When a person gets stressed, it goes to the adrenals and your immune system first. And the immune system is what your body has to fight. Look at people 80, 90, 100 years old. They have big ears. The ears show the size of your kidneys. And your ears, start watching your ears every day, because the size of your ears will change. Size. Yes, ma'am. When I found out about that, I started watching my ears, and they'll go up, they'll get smaller. And I'm like, especially in the mornings when I wake up. Hello. And when I wake up and I say, oh, I must have had a bad dream or something last night or whatever and stuff. But yeah, start looking at them. And but those are the organs of longevity. The kidneys and the adrenals determine how long a person lives. And kidneys are fear, which is at the root to abandonment. Now, dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. That is where you came from and where you'll return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity, lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up often. You didn't come here to be perfect. You already are. You came here to be gorgeously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again into remembering. That is why we are here. We are here to be human. And every day, if you strive to be and do the best that you can, then you can go, we're not perfect. You can go to sleep every night, peace, and look forward to each day. We're not perfect. We're not here to be perfect. Just do the best that you can every day. And sometimes your best isn't good enough, but if that's what you're doing, that's what you have.
Speaking of every day, how often should we detox?
Okay, now, describe detox.
Right. So if we was to say to a doctor a detox, that's like non-existent to them.
Okay.
They're gonna tell us well, you can't really detox.
Put it this way. I had one of my clients call me, said, I just left my doctor's office and he said my kidneys are bad, I'm gonna do a detox. No. Your kidneys are damaged. They are not strong enough to handle a detox. That's what many people, a cleanse or a detox. The organs in the body have to be strong enough. Now, one of my wholesalers that I use, DesBio, they do have a 2-week detox that I do suggest that people do. But in the detox, they have a powder that has every vitamin, mineral, nutrient that the body needs, because that's another thing. When you're fasting and doing detox, the body still needs the nutrients. A water detox, you still need the nutrients. And then it has 4 liquids that detox every single organ. They have 8 liquids, and it's a 2-week detox. But again, test. I always test to see the body. And doing a water fast, you definitely. Now, I sell vitamins, but what I use is, oh goodness, what is it? I can see it sitting there.
I know I got the
I've been using
silver,
it for your
silver. I know I got the company,
yeah, the silver, but no, I use the YS EcoBee Farms.
detox package.
No, it's a vitamin. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of that. I've been taking it for years.
We're going to do a Q&A too. If anybody has any questions, we'll definitely get into that in the next 5-10 minutes. So definitely get them in your head. So we
YS EcoBee Farms Royal Jelly. Now, I've been using Royal Jelly back when I got certified in nutrition years and years ago. At that time, the same company, but they put it in honey. But to show how they've kept up with the times, because there's this super candida that's been out in this country for the past 11 years that 80 to 85% of the population has it. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Oh, yes. And with the YS EcoBee Farms Royal Jelly now, it is freeze-dried in a vegan capsule. And I take that. It has every nutrient known to man. That's what I take. Now, I sell vitamins and minerals, but that's the one that I take. And this super candida, back in, one of my clients last year sent me an article from the FCC. She said, this is the first time I've seen anything, and they're talking about this Candida auris. I learned about it from a medical doctor from Philly back in 2009, I think it was. 80 to 85% of the population of this country has it. They call it a super candida because they have no pharmaceutical drugs that can touch it. It will go from a yeast to a fungus to a parasite. Another reason it's a super candida, anyone that takes a steroid automatically gets it. Anyone that takes an antibiotic automatically gets it. Anyone, if it goes down, and it can go into your bloodstream, it can go into every organ in the body. My scan will show even if it's in the brain. It can go down into the vagina, and then it can be passed sexually between partners. Prior to this, a vaginal yeast infection was no biggie, but it can be passed sexually. And then the last is sugar. If sugar is 30% or more of your daily intake of food, all alcohol, all starch, all carbs, all sugar, honey, agave, maple syrup, etc., and all fruits break down to sugar. If that is 30% or more, I get a lot of vegans and vegetarians that get it because they bulk up on beans and fruits. Fruits break down to sugar. Beans, legumes are not a complete protein. They are a protein starch. Half breaks down to sugar, half breaks down to amino acid. So it is horrendous.
And you say it can turn into a parasite as well? It can go from fungi to...
Yep.
Wow.
And now, since August of 2020, August and September of 2020, 80 to 85% of the people I'm scanning came up with H. pylori bacteria. Prior to that, the only time I've ever seen H. pylori is if someone went to Mexico. Because it comes from eating food that comes in contact with fecal matter. And they would come back from Mexico, they're like, I didn't drink the water, but you bathed in it and you washed it. Once you smell a toxin, as soon as you smell it, it's immediately in your body. To touch a toxin, it takes 19 to 26 seconds to penetrate the skin. All of a sudden, I'm seeing all these people with H. pylori. None of them have been to Mexico. I called 3 medical doctors. They're like, yep, we're seeing it too. The company that I have that has products for it, they said doctors all over the country. One of my clients in Maryland told me her dentist told her about it. So I've been telling people, I scanned a woman in Africa last year, and she called me the next day because I told her she had H. pylori. She called me the next day. She said they announced it in her country that night on the news.
Whoa.
One of my clients 2 months ago brought me Duke Cancer Institute's magazine for December of 2022. There is an article in it telling everyone, even if you have no symptoms, to get tested for H. pylori bacteria. I'm going to tell you that to get tested for H. pylori bacteria. She said, my client said, you've been telling us this for 3 years. What it is H. pylori bacteria, it comes from when I did the research, where I think it's coming from, we have all these young kids now working in restaurants and food prep and stuff, and they're not washing their hands properly. When you go into restaurants, every bathroom, it says employees must wash their hands, and that is basically to prevent H. pylori. If it goes untreated, stomach cancer, stomach and duodenal ulcers, glaucoma, neurological damage. I have 2 clients that have miscarried because of H. pylori. It can also cause miscarriage. Symptoms are acid reflux, gas, bloating, vomiting, dark stools, dizziness, weight loss for no reason, all these different symptoms. But it can also cause the super candida. So then I'm getting people with both of them. With both of them now and stuff, but it's huge, and both of them are going around. And they have no pharmaceutical drugs. I've had people call me and say, oh, my doctor said I had candida and said he didn't have anything. And then others are giving them antibiotic, and that's making it worse. Wow. So it's just feeding it. So there's products that can be taken to correct them, but with the candida, the super candida, then it's a dietary change, because it makes you crave all the foods that it needs to survive, which is what everybody's eating.
That's what everybody eats.
And they'll say, oh, I can only breathe water, I can breathe air, I can only drink water. Yeah.
It's like, and it's interesting that people say that, because it just goes into the programming of them not even knowing what to eat, because they think that they're craving it. You think that it's you want the food, but it's the parasites in the bacteria in your gut. And I seen something about intestinal dysbiosis, where the bioengineered ingredients in the food actually change the bacteria in your body, and we're nothing but bacteria. So the new bacteria is releasing different chemicals in your body that's foreign, that has never been released before. So it's literally altering your DNA. It's literally turning you into a different person for within your DNA. And it's the food revolution is really crazy. And then on top of the fecal matter, if you have. So let me ask you this. Can a natural antibiotic like olive leaf fight that off? Because the antibiotics that they give, could you fight that off with a natural herbal antibiotic?
What I use a pharmaceutical grade all natural probiotic. And then I use pharmaceutical grade natural Mega IgG 2000, immunoglobulin G.
Okay.
And the probiotic is safe enough for children 1 year old. The IgG is safe enough for children 2 years old on up. But the IgG actually grabs, it attaches to fungi, bacteria, viruses, all of that, so that the immune system can attack it. But it also, yes, it targets it. The other thing it does is it works on inflammation in the entire digestive tract. It will get you absorbing your nutrients properly and the mucosal lining in the digestive tract. Those are the 2, and then I have a yes food list.
Okay.
Now, with this, 80 to 85% of the population of this country is addicted to sugar right now. 1 tablespoon of sugar decreases the immune system in an adult 50% for 3 to 5 hours. Sugar eats calcium, that's bones, muscles, and teeth. Sugar eats red blood cells, that's anemia and fatigue, and 80 to 85%. But it didn't get that bad until they started putting high fructose corn syrup in all the food. That's made in a laboratory. It has mercury in it. The blood-brain barrier is there to protect the brain. There's very few things that can cross it. Mercury is one, and caffeine is the other. That's why it gives you that high and exercise. But caffeine also dehydrates the kidneys, so it's not a good thing. And then with the high fructose corn syrup, it has 2 additives to make people crave sugar. They put it in to increase the sales of food, but now you've got all these people addicted to sugar.
It's the sugar
and the
addiction.
super candida.
And I don't know, and for all you coffee lovers, and you threw coffee in there,
yeah.
Coffee is highly acidic, and it's going to raise the cortisol levels in your body. It's just for your information. I'm not trying to tell nobody not to eat coffee. Let's just put it out there.
I tell everyone.
Let's just put it out there.
I was so glad. My mother would get up in the morning and would not speak to anyone, not even my father, until she had her cup of coffee. So I thought that was weird, so I never drank coffee. And then when I went and I got certified in nutrition, that was when macrobiotic diets were out, and they were saying no caffeine. And then I'm like, okay, caffeine dehydrates the kidneys. The kidneys control everything in the cranium. Hearing loss, ringing in the ears, every bone in the body. Sodium, potassium levels. The body is literally a sodium-potassium pump. Healthy sodium opens every single cell in the body so that they can take in nutrition. Potassium opens every cell so that they can detox. Celtic CELTIC light gray sea salt is the healthy sea salt. They have adulterated the Himalayan pink sea salt. That is no longer good. And when people come to me and they use that, their sodium levels are purple. They are not healthy. Kidneys, fluid levels, the bowels, the sigmoid colon and the rectum at the end of the large intestines is controlled by the kidneys. So it's the kidneys and the large intestines that control the bowels. High blood pressure is a kidney problem. Low blood pressure is the heart. White blood cells and detoxing the body. So caffeine can negatively impact all of that. So I was so glad I never drank caffeine. But I also want to say something. Hold your arms up. Okay, so you see your watch on the left and your bracelets, your gemstones on the right. So I'm going to suggest that you switch them, and I'm going to tell you why. When energy enters the body, it enters on the left and it leaves on the right. It comes up the left foot up to the heart and down.
Oh, well, let
me go ahead and switch on over. So if you are wearing gemstones or anything for healing, you want to put them on your left ankle, your left pocket, your left wrist. Then it will affect the whole body. If you're wearing it on your right, it will only benefit the right side. Watches, I haven't worn watches in years because of the negative stuff it does to the body. I suggest if people want to wear a watch, wear it on your right so it will only negatively impact the right side of your body and not your whole body.
Yeah, I done switched that on over.
Yep. Now, phones. Any of you have iPhones?
Yeah,
Okay, go to settings and then display and brightness. Blue light.
I got some of those glasses.
Display and brightness. Click on display and brightness. And then go down to night shift. Click on night shift. Click on scheduled. Click on the time that comes up. Click on sunset to sunrise. Do you see it?
That's 7 p.m.?
No, when you click on the time that comes up, and then it's going to give you another screen, and it'll give you an option of sunset to sunrise and something else.
Yes.
Yeah, mine not doing it.
Thanks for telling me that, because I had a time set.
Okay. Yep. Let me see yours just a
This one
second.
just got the time.
Okay, so let me go back here. Oh, yeah, yours isn't letting you. So what you're going to do is you're going to, okay, that'll be good.
That's good?
Yeah, that'll be good, what it has on. The later, most of them have it. Blue light. The light from your cell phones, the light from your computers, the light from television screens, and LED light bulbs. There is not one LED light bulb in my entire house. I have all old incandescent light bulbs. Those are all blue light. The medical researchers and scientists have linked blue light to high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. That's one of the reasons why those numbers are so high. It affects the retina in your eye. It blocks the body from making melatonin. It blocks the body from resting and repairing itself, processing carbs and fats. It affects the liver, the kidneys, DEA. Yes. So
That's the LED.
yeah,
The blue
that's
light.
the
The
blue light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the. If
That's
you need
the
like
blue
the
light.
quantum shield blockers, I got X, and then the
So
blue light
if,
glasses.
if you have a Mac, then you can go night shift. It's the free blue light filter to download on that. If you have any of the others, it's Flux, F.LUX. I've had mine on for 11 years, the blue light filter. And so that is something, sleeping with your television on, not a good thing. Set the timer so that it goes off in a couple of hours because that's blue light. And that will, at night is when the body rests and repairs itself. And that's blue light. Cell phones, when you are charging them, that's when it gives off the most radiation. It needs to be across the room. If you're sleeping at night, it needs to be across the room. Because all this radiation, between 2013 and 2015, the medical doctors in this country diagnosed 5 million additional people with thyroid imbalances. There is no such thing as a thyroid epidemic. When they did the research, they found when radiation enters the body, it goes to the thyroid and the brain first. Both control how people think and their emotions. Everyone can see the level.
Clearly,
Right. Everyone can see the
People
level of
going
insanity
crazy.
is increasing.
Right.
And then in November of 2018, they started looking at the liver and the kidneys and how they are being affected. In 2017, the medical researchers and scientists in this country tried to test how much damage 5G does to the body. Even in low doses, they couldn't measure it because it was that high. So I've been telling people since 2015. Now, last year, the airports sued Verizon and AT&T because their 5G towers are interfering with their equipment functioning properly.
Wow.
I just got some research from when I moved here in 2008. I lived in New Jersey. I had clients in every branch of the federal government in New Jersey, and I told them I would not leave them. I still go back every 6 weeks since 2008. And the information I get, you're not going to get. But they found a group of scientists, they did a study, they did 18 studies, and they have linked 5G to Alzheimer's and dementia. And it's starting at much younger ages.
I wanted to ask you, what is it doing to the animals?
Oh yeah, it's also
is that connected
affecting
with the honeybees disappearing?
What's happening is it's affecting the weather, and that's affecting the animals. And I just asked a brother that has an organic farm here, how is this affecting your food? He says, yeah, they're watching it now. Because global warming is one thing, but this extreme, the earth needs the 4 seasons. We as people need the 4 seasons. The animals need the 4 seasons. And it's not happening, and it's affecting in all different kinds of ways. So this 5G is really, really, for it to work, the towers have to be 500 feet apart. That's why you see them lined up for miles. When you see them laying cable along the streets, that's 5G.
Yeah.
And one of my clients came in, they put one in the back on her property, and they're paying her. I'm like, there's not enough money to pay me to put a 5G
that Google
tower.
Fiber stuff, man.
Yeah. And stuff. So it's huge. And then even like shungite, and so shungite and gemstones cannot protect against 5G.
What's shungite gemstone?
Shungite is a gemstone that prior to 5G you could wear to block radiation.
Organite and stuff like that.
Yes, but it's not, none of that is strong enough.
It's not that powerful?
Right. I knew Dr. Sebi. The last 2 years of his life, he was in the process of changing all of his formulas. Because what worked 10, 20, 30 years ago many of that doesn't work now because of all this crap that we're being exposed to and stuff. And so it's a lot of things that I've even changed with things that I suggest and stuff. I have on my online store, patchris.biz, there's a company, EarthCom. Now, I sell and use their products for radiation because they keep up with technology and they upgrade their equipment every 2 years. Everything that they sell blocks 5G. So I sell their products and I buy their products, but there's very little out here that can block 5G. It's that powerful.
All right. Okay, so hold that throat chakra. Hold on. All right now. We're going to get into Q&A. If anybody has any questions, we're going to go ahead and go to y'all and conclude the interview. Like I said, in the introduction, some of y'all missed it. I appreciate all y'all being here. Thank y'all so much. Welcome to the Healing Hierarchy. We are here to become our higher selves because we're on the higher class of self. So we just appreciate y'all. But first question, anybody?
Okay, I have a couple of questions. The first one is, when you said the liver, detoxing damaged the liver? You said, wait a minute, is it?
What it was is he said the doctor told him his liver was damaged. You cannot detox a damaged liver. It's not strong enough to handle the detox.
To filter.
Right. Yes.
And the other question is, could you expound a little more about the watch and the damage it caused? Because
yes.
I have a lot of friends that are athletes, runners, and they have this app that's supposed to tell them how well they sleep. And, well, now, first of all, I don't do it, so.
Right. But it's still technology, and that's radiation.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the whole thing. That's radiation, and it's still going into the body.
And I don't understand that. They know that. They know, but they put these devices in.
That's right. Yeah, because they make money off of selling the watches, then they make money off of people getting sick from wearing the watches.
Right.
This is capitalism. This is a capitalist country. Capitalism means that you're in business to make money. There's no other rules to capitalism. But there must be balance for anything to be sustainable. Capitalism isn't sustainable. Democracy and capitalism are diverse opposites. And unfortunately, we now have some capitalists as our politicians, which is why we have so many problems. And I tell people voting is important. As long as a democracy means it's ruled by the people. We, the people, have allowed our country to devolve to this level. What are we, the people, going to do about it? Because we do have the power. Don't listen to them. And they trying to get you not to vote. Well, if voting wasn't any power, why would they try and get you not to vote? But yeah, that's what it is.
And from experience, I wanted to share this with y'all too, as well. I've been vegan for 8 years, and I became very, very sensitive to radioactive elements, and I had to. And sometimes you have to feel it first to really understand what was going on. Because at first I didn't know what was going on because I was still warming my food up in the microwave, like 2 or 3 years in, and then from there I was standing in front of the microwave and my head would start hurting. I didn't know why. Then I realized it was because I was standing in front of the microwave, and the microwave, the waves were hitting my head, giving me a headache. So then when I realized that, I started noticing other things too. Like when I held my phone in my hand too long, my hand would start aching. You know what I'm saying? Like when I would try to go to sleep with my phone beside me, it's like my head would be ringing. It was because I was flushing my body out because a lot of radioactive elements are in food too that we eat.
Yeah.
So I was still flushing the radioactive elements out of my body, and as I was doing that, I was becoming more and more sensitive to radiation. So like, I feel like a lot of it has to come from like a person changing themselves and seeing the results themselves and experiencing it themselves and paying attention to themselves to know that the effects that it's really having on you, because from experience, that's what happened to me. So now I can't even hold my phone in my hand for that long, and I got to wear crystals and gold to reflect some of this radiation that I have to encounter on these devices every day. So it's kind of like, it's just the experience. I feel like some people have to experience it, you know, even as athletes, you know. I know it's kind of hard to to eat properly on a plant-based diet, they may think, or because they have to, do certain things or regimens as an athlete. But if they could just feel the effects of it somehow by way of dietary law and changing you know, but that's just from experience. I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Speaking of, just to expound a little, speaking of microwaves, microwaves give off radiation as long as they're plugged in. And if you notice, they started building houses with the microwave plugged in where you can't even get to the cord. They know all this stuff and you can't unplug it.
Wow.
They know what it's doing, right?
That's crazy.
Yes. Now, as he was talking about, and I want to talk about plant-based in just a minute, my fingers started tingling using my computer. That's radiation. 11 years ago, I bought a mouse that plugs in, a cordless mouse. All that radiation that makes it work, as soon as you put your hand on it, that radiation is going into you. I have a plug-in mouse and I have an earthing mouse pad. And it plugs into the wall socket where the circular one at the bottom, it plugs into that. So it takes the radiation from my laptop down to the ground. And I have an earthing foot pad that I put my feet on. It took 2 weeks. The tingling stopped and it has never come back since. And I've been using this for 11 years. Plant-based. I'm a vegan. I always ask people, how are you getting protein? Every cell in the body needs protein. So 2 ways that I suggest, 2 herbs, horsetail and nettles. Taking the 2 of those herbs together make a complete protein.
Yeah.
When I learned that, when I got certified in nutrition years ago, I've been taking it ever since.
Nettle leaf, you do tea? Nettle leaf?
No, I just do the herb.
Nettle, nettles
The
or
herb,
nettle leaf?
either one.
Okay.
But it's the herb, and I do by nature's way because it's just the herb in a vegan capsule.
Oh, okay.
So I do horsetail and nettles, 2 herbs. And then I use Nutiva organic hemp protein powder. Now, that is pure organic hemp protein powder. Once you open it, it's only good for 3 months, and it has to be refrigerated because there's nothing else in it but organic, and it gives you 15 grams of protein per serving. So those are the 2. And then, of course, you can get from, you know, your vegetables and things. But trying to get enough protein just from vegetables is not going to work. And then for people that do eat meat, organic is very important. Certified organic, because the average age for a girl to start her cycle in this country is 8 to 9 years old, and that is from the hormones that they are getting from the meats. Eggs, certified organic, not just free range, free roaming. Organic Prairie is a company. All these companies find me. I haven't watched the news in over 30 years. Whatever I need to know, the creator brings it to me. This company found me, Organic Prairie. They grow all of their meat. They have beef, chicken, ducks, pigs, because I'm in the South. There's a lot of folk who don't want to give up their pork.
That's right.
So if you're going to do it, get it from Organic Prairie. And you have to order it directly from them, and they ship it to you. Fish, wild caught is not healthy. Farm raised is not healthy. Mid-Atlantic. I lived in Atlantic County. I moved to Atlantic County in 1975. I forget what year I stopped going to the ocean because the ocean is black and the sand is brown.
What?
And when I came here, first of all, I didn't even know North Carolina was even on the ocean. And 3 years, people were trying to get me. I finally went to the ocean. I was like,
Can't stop going. You always at the beach.
I'm telling you, I would never know that this was the same ocean that's up there. Do not eat fish from Mid-Atlantic. So
that's up Jersey. What?
Jersey, New York, all the way up yes.
Wow.
Nuclear radiation. Fish from the Pacific coast, the majority of it is nuclear radiation. Wow. Because that tsunami that hit in Japan, that water it's still being spread. They don't have anything to get rid of that, and NASA is tracking it. So for fish that is not wild, you can get nuclear radiation, mercury, and chromium. And that shows up on my scan too. And I said, oh, you had fish, seafood, tuna. But vitalchoice.com is a company, 95% of what they sell is wild. They have some wild caught, but it is wild, and they ship it to you frozen. So those are some places.
What's the name of it?
Vital, V-I-T-A-L, choice, CHOICE.com.
Wow.
And then Organic Prairie is for people that want to get certified organic meat.
Got any questions? Anybody back there? Got any questions?
Uh-huh. Hi.
We met years ago, and then we met again last year.
Okay.
Arthur Wellness. But she helped my son out years ago when I had to do a scan on him because he suffered from eczema, all of it. It was just so much. So I wanted to ask you, when you go back to the high blood pressure, the Most High basically revealed to me, you need to get on this high blood pressure. And I checked it, and it was high. So in my head, I'm like, I need to tackle it now. So I'm like, water, water, water. Beat you, something.
Okay, so three things automatically. One is, everyone, you take your body weight divided by 2. That's the minimum number of ounces you need daily to not be dehydrated. But you have to slowly build up to that. If you just start drinking a lot of water, it's going to go through. So the first week I suggest people sip on 4 to 6 ounces an hour, stopping 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. The next week, sip on 6 to 8 ounces an hour, stopping 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. And then the next week, 8 to 10 ounces an hour. And then you'll be up to half your body weight. Second thing is no caffeine.
The second thing is what?
No caffeine.
With high blood pressure, right?
For high blood pressure.
Because the kidneys,
High blood pressure.
it goes back to the
caffeine
kidneys.
dehydrates the kidneys.
Yeah.
The kidneys control high blood pressure. And then the third is using Celtic light gray sea salt.
So,
Yeah.
And then high blood pressure is, that's the kidneys. So kidneys are fear. So start sending love to everything instead of fear. Love is the most powerful entity there is.
but you also said something about the adrenals and stress.
Uh-huh.
So that's connected to the high blood pressure.
Oh, yeah, because emotions can affect your high blood pressure too. But that's what I'm saying. Send love to everything instead of fear and anger.
Celtic hydrate sea salt.
Celtic light gray sea salt.
Harris
Yeah.
Teeter ain't got that. We're gonna have to get that.
You can get it online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that all the healthy organic supermarkets have been bought by corporate America, even Weaver Street Market. They don't have a lot of the things that I used to eat. They just don't have them. And 2 months ago, a friend of mine sent me a list of all the natural companies that they have, that corporate America is buying now. The other thing is knowing the laws in this country. The FDA, anything in a can, bottle, package, box can be labeled organic as long as one ingredient is organic. They can label things gluten-free and still have 18% gluten in it.
Wow.
So I tell you, y'all be sitting here TikToking and all. I don't do all that. What I do is I go to FDA.gov, this and the other. I had, yes, I've actually looked up laws and told the state, okay, this is the law. They're like, oh, okay. And they back down.
Right.
So when you go to nc.gov, the laws there are true. All of that is true. What you hear on the news, no. But you can go to fda.gov, fcc.gov, and look up the laws for yourself. And that is another reason for voting, because the politicians that are in office, they are the ones that put the people in positions of agencies that control our lives and our health. I'll have people that say, oh, I'm going to visit, I'm going to traveling, I said, oh, you can eat whatever you want in those countries because they don't allow the crap that we allow in this country. I've posted twice, and then I'll get to your question. I posted 2 articles on Facebook. It showed the ingredient labels of 4 products in this country and the same 4 products in England. Our country, the list was this long. In England, this long. Same manufacturer. The manufacturers here know that other countries do not tolerate the crap that we do here. And that is where voting is important. Okay, I think he was before.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. So earlier we were speaking about insects, right? And with the 5G. So I've been seeing videos of sheep, ants, and just roaming in circles.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you think about that? You think that's the 5G, or that's just a parable of?
Part of it is the 5G, because their bodies are not designed to handle all of that. And nature is confused now. And they're taking land. Oh, okay. Just brought up something else I thought about. They're doing all this stuff in people's faces, and people have no idea. Just like the microwaves where they built in the houses where you can't unplug them. The other thing is these townhouses that they're building. You can't visit people that live in townhouses.
Wow.
The driveways, you can put maybe 2 cars in the driveway. There's no street parking. They're putting these houses where you can put your arm out to your neighbors. That's not cool because the energy from that house can come into your house.
And they want to charge you $400,000.
As social beings, as human beings, we are social beings. We need that social interaction. So this is how they're screwing people without letting them know. Now, and I do have a doctor that does this, many people don't know, the smart meters that Duke Energy puts on your houses, that's 5G.
Wow.
But the Board of Utilities in North Carolina listened to some protesters. And all you need is a medical doctor in North Carolina to write 2 sentences. And you can opt out. Now, you can opt out on your own, but it costs $150 and $18 a month. You can opt out for free. And I do have a medical doctor, a black female in Raleigh, that I've been using for 4 years for this. And she takes insurance, so you can go over there. She just writes the 2 sentences. You can opt out of the smart meters, the 5G on your home. Not only, and they know, it will automatically opt out your neighbors because they realize radiation is a frequency. It's not just here. It's like this. So if you can't be around 5G, they know that your neighbor's 5G is affecting you, so they automatically get opted out as well. Many people don't know that law, but yes, I know that law, and I've been telling people that.
Anybody other questions?
Yes, she had questions.
Thyroids. I had my thyroid removed years ago because I had the nodules that were growing, and they said that they couldn't quite test as much of it because of cancer. So have removed. So ever since then, I have been off kilter. Like
yes.
Energy.
The thyroid is the only gland that if it is removed, a person has to be on a pharmaceutical drug or something natural the rest of their lives because it controls so much in the body. And that is one of the places that radiation goes first, is the thyroid. Yes. Yes. So no, the thyroid is no joke. That is the one. Both of mine, both of my sisters had their thyroids removed. They were watching mine because thyroid, every organ has an emotional root. Thyroid is power. Anyone that has been sexually abused, they have a thyroid problem. Fortunately, they didn't remove mine. They removed my sister's. So when I got into this field, I got mine and balanced it out and stuff from the sexual abuse. But oh yeah, the thyroid, and now all this radiation goes to the thyroid first. But also the vaccination department, in December, I got their email. This RSV that's out with these kids, that's a side effect of the COVID shots. And they found that the COVID shots are also affecting thyroids. And the Moderna is causing strokes.
So what can we do to, I know it's now that I have the thyroid removed, but
yeah.
What is it? Is there anything?
Contact me, and then I will test. I'll test to see what products you can use to help with the because like I said, I don't guess, and I don't make any assumptions. There's things that do things, but nothing. Just because it's natural doesn't make it safe, and nothing works the same for everyone. I test the body to see what they need. Okay. So I'll test to see what your body would benefit from that and stuff. You're welcome. And then,
do you feel like that has something to do with the cardiac problems, the cardiac arrest that these soccer players were saying with the backs, them getting backs and stuff like that?
Yeah. Oh, now they also said that men are really getting affected by the shots. And this is from the vaccination department in D.C. because I get all their information. And they also, there's a lot of things. I have 5 products I've been using, pharmaceutical grade from Germany, since March of 2020. Anyone that has had COVID has gotten rid of it in 3 to 5 days. Anyone that takes the vaccinations, I have 7 products. 1 kills viruses and bacteria on contact. 1 dissolves blood clots. 1 binds the heavy metals. 1 balances pH. 1 drains the kidneys. 1 protects the vascular system. And 1 protects the brain. So anyone taking the shots have been getting all this, yeah. And it's, but this is, so I can't tell you about the other company.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, but there's people in the field that buying the stuff from me in the pharmaceutical field. There is no pharmaceutical drug that can kill a virus. There never has been. There was a homeopathic medicine that stopped the Spanish flu worldwide.
We are gonna have to conclude with that. We're gonna do some networking after. You know, if anybody, you know, y'all can stick around. We're gonna hang out. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Yeah, yeah, it's about to be concluded. No, not. We're gonna stick around. It's gonna be all right, sis. I got you. You on camera now? You don't forget. We're gonna stick around the network.
Any
and
more
then,
questions before we?
Yeah, before we conclude,
Okay.
anybody got any more questions? Of course, we can. I'm just doing this to conclude that the videography is about to be done. So we're gonna still stick around and hang out.
She has a question that.
I just want to know the 2 stones that you mentioned for the radiation. You said it was 2 stones.
Oh yeah, they don't touch 5G. So yeah, the stones can't do that. And just in general, everything that you put on or in your body is either going to increase or decrease your life force. It's a matter of degree. Nothing is neutral. I test all of my clothes. I test everything that I bring into my house. Everything is energy, and it will affect you. 96% of all disease can be eliminated simply through diet, but in this country, it's becoming harder and harder to eat healthy.
Yeah, that's where my question was. I've been a vegan for 20 years, and when I tell you, I mean, there is no reason why I should be sick and getting allergic reactions to stuff, and I know it's something going on. I mean, and I've felt the change and the shift on the, even in the earth, like you were saying. Even in the earth, I'm a runner, and I remember the year that running became so taxing because the stuff they're putting in the ground and the sun. I mean, just the heat makes it just the heat by itself.
And even with, I can't remember how many years ago, I was like, oh, well, for organic now, it's going to have to be raised and covered. Yes. And the 2 black organic farmers, one in Chapel Hill and Obie in Roxborough, theirs are raised and covered. Yes. Because of all the runoff and all the stuff in the sky and all of that. So just growing, just uncovered, that you can't do certified organic like that anymore.
That's true. In conclusion, I just want everybody in here just to give themselves a hand. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm just so grateful to see y'all. And I'm just doing this to conclude. The videography is about to be done. We gonna hang out, but you know, we gotta make it look good on Lynn. So that's all I'm doing. We still gonna hang out. It's all good. We still in here. But this part of it is done. All right? All right, y'all. It's peace and love. We love y'all. Everything good.